So I'm sure you guys have all heard about the Manchester airport incident that took place on July 23rd last year. It involved two brothers, Amaz and Ahmad, and three officers, two of them being female and two of them being armed. Not a surprise there because it took place in a freaking airport. Now, this is the video that started off protests in Manchester last year. As you can see, the officer boots him in the head. This is misconduct. The officer is currently still under investigation for misconduct, which it is. That is misconduct. And it did become a racial thing as soon as this happened, of course. You know, you had people saying, oh, look at police brutality, and I'm somebody, I'm all for holding police accountable. I think they're out of control. I don't like them, but we are all human at the end of the day. And when it becomes a racial thing, it is like, oh, come on, like let's just get to the bottom of this. You know, I care about the facts, but in this case, both sides are kind of right. The right is a little bit more correct in this case, because were the police officers partially in the wrong? Yes, a little bit. When I show you everything, they were a little bit in the wrong, but the brothers were out of control, man. These guys were moving mad and they had this coming. Manchester airport police officers are still under investigation for misconduct following arrest. I'm so sorry, guys. Why is my phone not on silent? Here is a still image again of the video I just showed you guys. A police officer should not be kicking someone like that, no matter what they've done. But we are all human at the end of the day. And now that we have some more context, you'll kind of see where the officer's coming from here. It wasn't just a random kick out because he's Muslim, which is the narrative that was kind of painted. No. So we've muted this video, but I'm going to give you guys commentary over what's happening here. So these two brothers, their family, they've just got off of a Qatar Airways flight in Manchester airport, okay? Two brothers with their mum, bro, they're dying for her. Nobody's touching her when there's two brothers with her, yeah? Their mother, she says it was racial abuse, but she said somebody called Abdul Karim, who is over here, abused her or said something to her. And the brothers, rightly so, come and confront him on it. And this is what happens, okay? Bang! Headbutts him, punches him, and his brother gets in the middle of it. His brother doesn't do anything, but he headbutts him. Now, an airport is the worst place for this to happen simply because there's cameras everywhere. It's one of the most secure places you can be in. They've obviously seen this on CCTV and they know what you've done. The police are coming up to you and they know what you've done. The police approach you differently when there's conflicting stories. But in this case, they've seen the CCTV footage already. They know what you've done. They are leaving the airport and they're in the terminal car park. Amaz is thinking, yeah, cool, I've defended my mom. That's it. Nothing's going to happen. But no, three police officers come and move straight to arrest him. Look at this. Here we go. They're like, yep, we're going to arrest you. Now, here, first of all, this is where I think it starts to go left, when this officer just starts pushing his head down. Now, does it look like he's resisting? It looks like he's putting up a little bit of resistance. But these officers are not here to play, that they've got evidence of you committing a crime like 10 minutes ago. Like, you violently assaulted someone, bro. You're under arrest for assault. There's no questions here. And I don't even understand why his brother's confused, because you saw the whole thing happen, bro. You get in here trying to interfere. This is, you're obstructing a police officer in their duties now. Now here, the police officers are outnumbered. Two of them are armed as well. I think these are the two officers that are armed. I mean, it is an airport. Usually when they're outnumbered, one person gets involved, other people start getting involved. Bang, they're outnumbered. They're in a brawl, they're in a scuffle, and they're outnumbered. Now, what do? So I understand police officers having to shut down the threat. They have to shut it down immediately before it gets any more out of control. This is basic crowd control. But the officer punches him. He punches him. He's getting into it with this other officer now. This brother has not been found guilty of assaulting a police officer. A jury was unable to find him guilty in the trial that concluded yesterday. And I can see why, because it just looks like the officer started all of the aggression here. That's how it looks to me after seeing this. And now you've got this officer here, the unarmed officer here, holding onto his arm, trying to arrest him. This other armed officer, she's now focused on this guy because he is in a scuffle with her colleague. And look at this. He starts viciously punching an armed officer. He punches an armed officer and then knocks this female officer down. Look, she's armed. Like, if this was in America, bro, you would be dead, my guy. You would be dead. You'd be in a spliff right now. Hey, my people, if you're enjoying the video, please be sure to give it a like. Costs nothing, takes no time, helps boost me up in the algorithm. Thank you very much. Just like it. Let's get it out of the way. Like the video, please. Thank you. And let's pay attention to this part now. Look. He tases him. So while all this is going on, he's punching the two female officers. This officer tases the guy that he was getting into it with, which is fair use of the taser. He broke her nose. This officer's nose was broken. Like, he broke her nose, my guy. And there is just no excuse for hitting a woman. There's no excuse for hitting a woman, bro. It's wild. It's wild. Here, there's body cam footage of the incident. Look at this. It's crazy. And look at her here. This is distressing to watch, guys. I'm going to turn up the volume and let you guys see this.
Injuries can be seen. Amaz was found guilty of causing PC Ward actual bodily harm, of the assault of PC Cook and the earlier airport assault. He's been remanded in custody.
But after 10 hours of deliberating, the jury here at Liverpool Crown Court were unable to come to a decision on the charge that related to both brothers, that of causing actual bodily harm to the male officer involved in this case, PC Zachary Marsden.
Yeah.
In response to today's verdicts, the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police said, whilst assaults on police officers are sadly not uncommon, 44 of my officers are assaulted every week across Greater Manchester. Such attacks can never be justified.
When I was in Manchester, and I went on a night out in Manchester, I went on a night out by myself. I was walking around, I was doing the rounds, I was walking all around the strip. Yeah, I saw like police get called and have to break up like 3 different fights, bro. Like I'm talking proper scraps where police have to come there and break it up. And I saw police officers get assaulted on one night out, and probably more happened around there. So Manchester, bro, it's a bit rough out there from what I've seen, bro.
Officers are decent people who routinely place themselves in harm's way to protect the public. They deserve our respect and support. The Independent Office for Police Conduct is investigating the behaviour of the officers that day in July last year to determine whether anyone breached the standards of professional behaviour, particularly regarding a kick to Mr Amaz's head by PC Marsden after he'd been tasered. Prosecutors have already decided that no officers will face criminal charges.
Now, remember the kick that I showed you guys at the start of the video? This is why context is so important. Because is it misconduct for him to have kicked him while he was on the floor? Absolutely. But look at it as we are all humans, bro. I think he was completely justified in that, bro. This guy just did look what he did to 2 of your female colleagues, bro. It makes sense. And I'll be real, these brothers were not thinking. Like, you're clearly not thinking. No respect for authority, bro. Like, why are you going to hit fights with police officers, bro? Like, what do you think is going to happen? You think you can get in a fight with police officers and everything's going to be dandy in a freaking airport? Come on, bro. And even if we go back to the start where he headbutted the guy, bro, the guy clearly didn't want it.
And follows up with punches.
The guy clearly didn't want it, bro. You could have just egoed him and kept it moving and just showed him, listen, don't ever chat to my mum like that again, or else it can get, you should have just thought smarter here, bro. Now, we got to give credit to Paul Wow. Now, he received a lot of controversy because when the attack initially happened, he went in Parliament and publicly backed the brothers in Parliament. He was saying, oh, this level of police brutality is terrible, when we hadn't had all the facts yet. We didn't have any context. He even went to visit the family's yard. He went to their yard. Like, this guy really already picked his side before he knew all the facts. And to be fair to him, after they were found guilty, he did speak out and say the sheer ferocity of the assaults faced by these 2 brave women police officers was shocking. So he's holding himself accountable. He's like, listen, he's not saying it, but he's showing you, listen, okay, I didn't have all the facts. I was wrong. Now, the Crown's prosecution service says that they intend to go for a retrial for both of these brothers for the assault on PC Marsden. They believe PC Marsden was assaulted, so this is not over for the brothers. Now, as for the allegations that their mother made, there's been a report, but there's been no follow-up. Amaz has been found guilty, rightly so, after viewing the footage. The footage is horrific, but they want to get both of the brothers, so we're going to see what happens in the retrial. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Chung Lee, I actually really want to know what you think. Chung Lee says, when things like this happen where there can be a racial narrative push, it's important to wait for context so we all have the facts when coming to a conclusion in our minds. And I think you put it fairly, Chung Lee, because this is a clear example of that. The trial went on for 4 weeks and took place in Liverpool Crown Court. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love to every single one of you.